What is up, guys? I'm Get Flanked, and as most of you guys know, I play on both console and PC, and switching between the two can be extremely difficult. If any of you guys have ever done it, you know that if you play on PC for a while using a mouse and keyboard, switching back to console is a rude awakening, and it can be very difficult to get your aim back with a controller. Now, this makes it extremely frustrating for me to switch back between the two, because the simple fact is, if you can aim well on console, you can dominate most lobbies. In console, there's a huge gap between the people who can aim well and the people who can't. And the hardest player to play against on console is that guy who can aim extremely well. You can be in the right place, you can read that player perfectly, you can be ready for them to come, but that player can still win a lot of those gunfights because they can just simply make better and quicker adjustments with their thumbsticks and their aim than you can. And that's different than playing this game on PC. On PC, because of how easy it is to aim with mouse and keyboard, most people can aim pretty well. And I don't mean to make it sound like there isn't a difference between the best aimer and the worst aimer on PC. Of course there is, but that gap is not nearly as large as it is on console. The gap in good aiming to average aiming on console is huge, whereas on PC, most people can aim pretty well. But that's actually really good news for the console player, because if you actually work on your aim, and I'm saying work, not just going into terrorist hunt, running around and, warming up. I'm saying actually work on your aim using good technique. You can turn yourself into a really good player. You can become that guy that nobody wants to play against. You can become that player that gets themselves out of really bad situations just because they can aim so well. So what we're going to do in this video is, first of all, I'm going to show you some drills that I use that will help you improve your aim. I'm also going to go over some concepts. There's some things that I think a lot of players make mistakes whenever they're aiming on console that I don't think that most people realize. And we're going to explain some of those concepts, and I'm going to show you some drills on how you can improve and get better with your aim. And I swear to you guys, if you do this, you're going to see yourself improve rapidly. This is the number one thing you can do to improve your game, and probably actually the fastest. Again, if you go in and actually work on this stuff, you're going to see rapid improvement, and it's going to be a lot quicker than improving your game sense, improving your map knowledge. This is stuff that can make a difference within, really, honestly, a couple hours of doing this. You'll see improvement. Okay, here we are in a custom game, and before we get into the drills that I want to show you on how to improve your aim, I want to talk about a couple of concepts here that'll help you understand what you need to work on. And it has to do with using your left stick to aim and using your right stick. So let me show you left stick aiming. Left stick aiming is this. You strafe left and right. And let's say that there's an enemy in this doorway right here, and he's standing up right there. If I'm aiming like this, and I strafe over, and I can get on target really easy, and I can get the kill. A lot of people, in my opinion, overuse that. Yes, in that situation right there, that's perfect. The enemy's right there, you can get on target really easy. It's much easier to adjust aim that way because you can only adjust it one way. No matter which way I move here, my sights are going to stay pretty much at that level. Whereas when you start getting into your right stick, you can go anywhere like this. Okay, so I understand why it's overused, because there's less margin for error when you make adjustments with your left stick by strafing like this. The problem is that if that enemy is, let's say, like laying down right beside that desk, let's say that enemy is laying down right there, okay, and I'm coming around the corner like this. Well, I can't strafe to make that adjustment. I have to use my right stick now to adjust down. And that is where most players really struggle. Most players are not good enough at making right stick adjustments in this game. They end up potatoing, they end up over adjusting. Most of the time you see players potato in this game is because they aren't good enough at making right stick adjustments. So that's what most of my drills are going to focus on, is making those right stick adjustments. The other aspect that is a real weakness with depending on the left stick adjustments too much, let's pretend that lamp right there is an enemy, okay? If I'm using my left stick to adjust, I can get on target fine, but once I'm there, I have to stop. So let's say that enemy starts moving. Well, now I'm going to have to make my right stick adjustments in order to adjust to them. Let's say that they crouch. Now I have to make my right stick adjustments to go down. Also, keep in mind that whenever you're in a gunfight, you are much more likely to win that gunfight if you keep moving and can stay on target while moving. The problem with strafing and aiming is once I get on target, I'm stuck here. If I'm depending on my left stick to aim, I can't move anymore. I have to stay put here. However, if you get good at using your right stick to make adjustments, you can now strafe over and still stay on sight like this. See what I'm doing here? I'm strafing left and right still, but I'm still remaining on sight. But that requires you to be good at making left stick adjustments, okay? So a lot of the drills that we're going to focus on you getting better at your right stick adjustments. And it's not easy. But if you work on these drills and actively go out and concentrate on using your right stick to make adjustments, you'll get better and you'll see huge improvements in your game. Okay guys, so here we are in a game of Terrorist Hunt, and this is where you're really going to improve your aim the most, but you can't just go in here mindlessly and run around. You have to actually work on your aim in here, and I'm going to show you what I do in Terrorist Hunt to try and work on my aim. First of all, something that I'll do a lot is practice just following a target while I'm strafing. So what I'll do is I'll put my sight on the top of that X right there, and I'll practice keeping on it while I'm strafing. And you can see, guys, I need some improvement, just like most of you guys probably do as well. But it's something that I work on. And the more you do it, the more you're going to get used to it, the more you're going to get used to your sensitivity, and the better you're going to become at it. And that's really important. It's not very much fun to sit here and do this, but it's really important as you're playing in this game to get used to your sensitivity while you're aiming down sights and strafing. And this is going to help you win gunfights. It's going to help you be harder to hit when you're in gunfights if you can keep strafing side to side and stay on target. You're going to notice a huge improvement there. You can do it on anything. You can do it on this light pole. You know, you can hold it there and practice moving around and just practice staying on sight. So that's teaching you to make adjustments with your right stick while you're strafing. And that's really the overall concept that's going to help you guys improve. Now, as you go into Terrorist Hunt here, again, focus on making adjustments on the terrorists with your right stick, okay? That one kind of caught me by surprise there. But don't just sit here and hold lines of sight like this, okay? That's might be the easiest way to win in Terrorist Hunt, but you're not gonna learn as much. You're not gonna get as good with your aim, okay? Practice making adjustments with your right stick. That needs to be your #1 focus as you're going into Terrorist Hunt. All right, so it sounds like we have a bomber coming our way. The bombers are a good opportunity to really work on your right stick adjustments. I'm going to purposely put my sights down here so that I half adjust once he comes in. If he does, there's one. Come on, bomber. There we go. Okay, so there, now let's adjust with the right stick. Okay, so that was a right stick adjustment there, and that's the stuff that you need to focus on. The more you do that, the more you're going to get comfortable making those right stick adjustments. And it's very subtle, you know, it doesn't look like much there, but that's using much better use of your time. Okay, again, I'm gonna aim down here and make my right stick adjustment. Okay. So that was a vertical right stick adjustment there. I was strafing backwards, not side to side, but that's the stuff that I work on in Terrorist Hunt. Ooh, it's ugly. That was a good example right there of having to make a right stick adjustment. Because he was crouched, you got to come in and drag down with your right stick. So again, guys, it's not just me running around, you know, trying to kill all the terrorists as fast as I can. It's me actually focusing on using my right stick to get the majority of these kills. Okay, here's another drill in Terrorist Hunt that can really help you with your right stick adjustments, and it's the nitro cells. A lot of people in Terrorist Hunt, you see these nitro cells, you just go away from them. Use them to help improve your aim. They're really good small targets. So at first, when you're first doing this, you can make adjustments only using your right stick. You see these are right stick adjustments, and just go between them and see how fast you can go between them. Oh, missed that one. Go this one. And keep making adjustments with only the right stick. Once you get good at that, do it while moving. So there, I'm going to put my sights purposely high. I'm going to start strafing, and I'm going to try and make my right stick adjustment to get on sight. So I'm strafing. And you can see how difficult that is because of the small target for me. Now, I'm not saying that I'm an aim god here. I switch back and forth. For you guys who play nothing but console, this might be a little bit easier, but that's gonna improve your right stick aim dramatically. This is a really good drill. Don't just skip over these nitro cells in Terrorist Hunt, guys. Keep working on them and use them to improve that right stick adjustments. It's not easy, especially when you start moving, but it's definitely a really good drill to help you get better. Okay guys, before we end the video, I will talk about sensitivity just for a second here. The best sensitivity for you is the highest sensitivity possible while remaining accurate. And you're just going to have to figure that out. There's no number I can give you that works for everybody. It's different for everybody. But the big thing here is, keep in mind, when you're adjusting your sensitivity, you're only adjusting your right stick speed. Adjusting sensitivity does nothing to your strafing speed. No matter if you're 1 or 100, you're going to strafe while aiming down sights at the exact same speed. So keep that in mind. That's another big benefit to getting good with right stick adjustments, is it's going to allow you to make fine adjustments, adjusting your sensitivity to match your game. Whereas with strafing, it's the same one size fits all for everybody. Pay attention when you're working on those drills. If you're constantly overshooting your target when you're making right stick adjustments, you may need to lower your sensitivity some. Notice where you're missing, and that's going to tell you how you need to adjust your sensitivity, whether it needs to be higher or lower. And just get used to it and keep tweaking with it until you feel really comfortable. Okay guys, that's going to do it for the video. The big concept here is, guys, you need to work on your aim. I showed you the drills that I like to use, but make up your own. The big concept is work on your right stick adjustments. Most players are far too weak in making right stick adjustments, and if you get good at it, if you can snap aim onto people using that right stick, you're going to notice you win so many more gunfights, and you are just improve at this game dramatically. And that's really good news, because you can just jump in today and start getting better at this immediately. So guys, hopefully all this makes sense to you. Definitely let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed this, please make sure that you like and subscribe, and I'll have more coming your way here soon.